So part of the story is, how do you have fun in this business? And one of the things I was thinking about, and I was thinking, what do we do when you do a test drive for a car? Tell me, how many of you, when you buy a car, take a test drive? How many do it?
Everybody.
Everybody. Okay, why do you do the test drive?
To make sure you like it.
Okay. And then if you don't like it, you don't buy it, right?
Right.
Okay, now when you do the test drive, what do you try to do? Do you go on the city streets or you go on the freeway?
Both.
Okay, you go on, if you're buying a truck, you go across some railroad tracks trying to find a rough road.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're trying to do is figure out where this thing works or doesn't work and whether I should have it. So I'm thinking, well, how many people have taken a test drive in their retirement plan?
Nobody.
Okay, so I'm going to sit down I meet you somewhere. I said, what do you do, Bill? Well, let me ask you a question. When you bought your last car, do you take test drives when you buy a car or truck? And they're going to say, well, yeah. And I go through why did you do it? Well, they did it for dependability or whatever. So and you always wait for the answer. Remember, you got to quit talking. You got to listen to them. So I'll give you an example. I bought a convertible several years ago. I thought it was really going to be great. And it was great for the first year until I realized I couldn't put my briefcase in exactly the right way. My coat didn't fit. The customers didn't like, it was tough to get in the car. So I had to get rid of the car. I bought another car. It was an expensive mistake. But has that ever happened to you? And let me ask any of you, had any of you bought something after a year or two, you didn't like it?
Too many $100 bills in the briefcase, so what? Couldn't fit?
Jeez. Brandon, why? It's always nice to have you on board, Brandon.
Back to mute.
Okay, so anyway, so I'm going to say, so what I basically do is the reason you do the test drive is you don't want to get stranded. You want to know the car is going to work. And what I've done, though, I'm doing test drives for a retirement plan. So if I sit down with someone and I want to know, and maybe you've done this, but I don't think most people have taken their retirement plan on a test drive. What I mean is, what will go wrong? And I'm thinking about, high inflation, taxes, that the national debt are rising. I'm thinking, well, how does taxes going to affect the retirement plan? And the key for that is we don't want any surprises. So one of the big surprises we've got to test out is this issue of sequencer returns. How will your plan respond to that? And so what we go through this, I want to make sure. And the other part of the test plan is the test drive is this. I think there are people who have made promises to themselves and their families about trips, donations, putting their grandkids through college. And when you get to the point in your life when you think about, will I be able to accomplish all those? Will you? So I sit down with people, and if they want to take a trip that they dreamed about, and it's going to be 2028, we're going to see if it works. And I've talked to people who wanted to take this European trip. It was going to cost $25,000. So we plugged it in, and lo and behold, they can take the trip. So why not? And if we can test the plan out and know that it can be stressed and you can reach your dreams and goals, that's the exciting part of doing a test drive. And you ought to know early on, if you do the test drive, you also want to know if there's going to be some bumpy roads ahead. How do we start solving the problem now while we know what's ahead? That's what the test drive does. So have you ever had anybody test drive a retirement plan for you? Does that make sense? Is there anything else you'd like to know? Now I'm going to wrap it up to see if they would want to discuss more. We can talk about it 5 or 10 minutes tomorrow over coffee or get you more information, but does that sound interesting to you? Any comments on this, everybody? You get this?